Hello, my name is Andrew Fernyhow, and this is my final assignment for oltd509 at Vancouver Island University regarding Minecraft in the classroom. I'm going to begin the screencast by outlining how I went about familiarizing myself with Minecraft and some realizations I had along the way. I began this journey by downloading Minecraft on my iPad. My first mistake was to let my stepson show me how to do it by watching him jump right into a new game. I say mistake because what he made look so easy in just 3 to 4 minutes. It took me 3 to 4 frustrating hours, I must say, to undertake on my own. Who knew finding coal would be so hard, and that it would take me 3 hours to realize I should just YouTube it. We get so stuck in our ways and convinced that we should know how to do this or figure it out that it doesn't come naturally, to me anyways, to just go look it up, as I often see the kids doing when they're playing Minecraft. What I'll attempt to do as I walk through the rest of this screencast is to see if I have got this down pat, to see if I can work my way through at least getting myself through the evening. I almost made it to sunrise last night and I had fire, it was all set up, made myself some coal from a furnace, but went out of my cave to chop some more wood thinking I was safe, and zombies got me in the end. So it should be a fun exercise. It's amazing how frustrating it is, but that just perfectly coincides with the readings that with the game about gaming in the classroom, how they want it a certain level of frustratingness, but and that it's rewarding when you get through it in the end. And I must say I was fairly proud of myself almost making it through the first evening. The final thing I would like to do, which is actually part B of our assignment, is to rate one of the worlds in Minecraft EDU using the evaluation tool created by myself, Marika Holtkamp, and Laura Mann. To begin, I'll give you my understanding of this game, how I went about looking into it. I began by looking at some tutorials. This one went through and began by showing a library exercise where a teacher was looking through the tutorial basics, then getting into hungercraft and explaining how building in the capital, how one half of the group was using gold to create bridges because they had excess of wealth, looking at how they could transfer back and forth between worlds with teleportation, figuring out what to trade for how much and the economics of how to deal with each other. Kids chatting on the side down here, debating back and forth, and ultimately showing how District 12 was fairly basic, just looking for food and coal, that kind of thing. The next thing was to look at the World Library, going through and looking at reading through the lessons. So this is where I got quite excited about this project and tied back to learning outcomes, social justice, other issues in the world, and looked quite in depth. I was quite excited about this at this point. It was actually once I went into this video second, I kind of thought, oh, it looks kind of boring, but I'd hate to judge this kind of thing before actually getting kids into it and seeing what they came up with. Finally, looking at the rubric here. Well, no, not finally. The other thing was obviously going into the game itself and playing around. I believe at the moment I'm stuck. My W isn't working, but I did get out there and play with a few things. Now I'm just back to the beginning where I'm going capital or District 12. So I'll escape out of there and get back to my rubric here. Okay, a little summary of what the game's about. Try to work through this quickly. Purpose. I just found so many purposes for this. It's art in terms of creating things. It's civics and humanities in terms of social justice issues. It's conflict, obviously, because they're fighting each other. It's economics due to bartering, having to figure out what's worth what, how to trade. I'm doing this in conjunction with the teacher plan. The program on its own may not cover half of what this lesson has to offer. I think it definitely has to go with how the teacher sets it up. So current events, global issues, obviously you could relate disparity and excess and greed. All of this numeracy might be a stretch, but in terms of balancing what costs what would you trade for what? I'm sure there's a bunch of these that could be, and that's what I've said here. This is solely based on what I've learned about this mod from exploring it myself and watching several videos. It is highly likely that I could incorporate more of these checks if I was to read more about it and find out what other teachers are doing. In terms of the retain model, it just seemed relevant. The concepts were embedded in it. I think it's something that could transfer out. It just seemed to fit each and every one of these items. So far as I could tell, they're available on Apple and PC products. This one's a bit of an interesting one. User-friendly, not necessarily user-friendly on its own. Some programs are just go ahead and explain it along the way. You have to be told or figure out or know how to figure out this stuff on your own. So I wouldn't give it a 4 on user-friendly. Clear goals and instructions, but that's kind of the point in Minecraft, is figure it out on your own. Engaging and motivating, I don't think so as much as the regular Minecraft. I think this one, I'd have to see it in action before I could give it much higher a mark than that. High technical quality, Minecraft isn't meant to be highly technical, but aesthetically pleasing, yeah, in terms of it's blocky, but it's a pretty beautiful set that they've got there. It's free program. Obviously, this is where I realize we might need to rework our rubric here a bit. The value exceeds the price of free, obviously. Single player, 2 players, pretty much need more than 1 player for this in order to be successful in terms of bartering and working, splitting your group members up. Bloom's taxonomy, any number of these. I think they're analyzing what to do next. They're creating stuff by building stuff. They're evaluating with each other as a team where to go next, and obviously using their previous understanding of Minecraft, if they have some, to help others during this process. Co-designing, definitely. Problem solving, of course. And situated meaning, I think it's right in there. Learning goals clear. That depends if the teachers use what outcomes they've chosen, and in this one is where I'm referring to the teacher lesson plan that I showed earlier. There's all kinds of outcomes that they had stated there. Depends which ones you want to use, which ones you want to focus on. Factual knowledge contained relates well to learning goals. What you know of the program you can definitely bring into here. Mechanics and activities relate well to learning goals. It's a hands-on, and you have to solve the problem, so you and your team have to figure it out as you go. Provides resources for teachers, so again, the library provides resources for the teachers. There isn't much, so far as I can tell, certainly not in the Minecraft itself in terms of further learning or assessing student creativity or where they're getting to. Privacy concerns, personal information is not requested or necessary so far as I know, and this seems to be too difficult for most of primary. I think it's an intermediate level program. Overall, I think middle of the way. I'd have to try it, like I said, I'd have to try it out for myself and see it in action before I gave it a 3 in most of these categories. So 12 out of 18, I could easily get it. I got excited about the concept. I'm just not sure how it would play out with my students, but I'd certainly like to give it a shot. I intended to come back this evening and insert a middle part to my video where I talk more about creative mode and the advantages, disadvantages, comparison of Minecraft EDU and regular Minecraft. But it looks like I'm running out of time in terms of our time slot. So what I wanted to do was just go back and make sure I covered and was clear on the learning outcomes and content as related to this hungercraft exercise. In the one resource that I have on this game, the stated outcomes were looking at mining and crafting in Minecraft, bringing their existing knowledge into Hunger Games. More provincially related would be how to use Minecraft to explore the social inequalities depicted within the Hunger Games. I think this would, if I dug a bit deeper, I know it could be well related to grade 6 socials outcomes in terms of a world economy, world trade, that kind of thing. I'd have to dig a bit deeper to look at other ways to bring it into HCE, I'm sure, in other grades. But I just wanted to make sure I was clear on what the game offered in terms of outcomes, objectives, and where I might take it if I was to go further. Overall, I just thought the concept of integrating one of students' favorite games over the last few years with one of their favorite books and movies is just brilliant. No matter, even if it did get a little boring in the end, as I said, it would just spark their interest, and you could easily lead it into, get them ready for the next educational Minecraft thing that you were setting up. So I thoroughly enjoyed this project, as frustrating as it was. This parent asked me today at a teacher meeting, what are your feelings on Minecraft? And little did they know I would lay into them for 10 minutes about how they should be on there and experimenting, and how I was fully ready to use their school server to promote this. And it was great to use my newfound knowledge to answer that question. So thank you for leading us down that road, and I hope I've covered off enough of the outcomes there.